For years, I believed a dangerous lie about success. I thought the equation was simple: effort plus pain equals breakthrough. If I was exhausted, anxious, or low-key hating my life, I would tell myself, perfect, that means I'm getting close. Maybe you've done that too, even without realizing it. You push hard, sleep less, pile on more pressure, and you call it grinding or being serious about your future. But here's what nobody ever told us. You can live like that for an entire year and still only have 2, maybe 3 YouTube videos to show for it, a half-finished gym streak, a budget you keep restarting every January. That is not what winning looks like. That is not hustle. That is a pattern. And I know that pattern way too well because I've lived it. I've burnt out, disappeared, and come back pretending it was all part of the plan, while secretly wondering if there was just something wrong with me. What I eventually realized is this: the resistance you hate right now is not proof that you're broken. It is proof that you are in training. And if you are done wasting your years stuck in that loop, this video is your map out. You are not broken. You are in training. Let's get to work. You've got to wake up. Have you ever stopped to think, what if that one issue you've been fighting isn't actually meant to hold you back, but instead to unleash something unstoppable inside of you? What if that struggle is actually a door whose life could be forever changed because you refused to quit on a calling that was so much bigger than you? Here's the hard truth I wish someone had told me years ago. God doesn't allow that personal struggle to break you. He allows it to humble you. He allows it to strip away your ego so you finally stop relying on your own limited battery power and start leaning on Him. He makes His power perfect in your weakness so you can become truly unconquerable. Today I'm sharing the 5 timeless systems that completely flipped my mindset. These are the tools that brought real peace, real progress, and real breakthrough in my life and in the lives of so many others. If you're ready to stop letting your struggle define you and start letting God use it to redefine your future, then it's time to dive in. System number 1, weaponize your weakness. Lock in on this. You want to know the shift that makes you unstoppable? Stop hiding your scars. Start showing them. Share your formal struggles with other people. Don't hide them. Don't feel ashamed of them. Because when you're willing to boast in your weakness, not arrogantly, but honestly, you do 2 powerful things. Number 1, you admit the change didn't come from your own limited strength. You take the pressure off yourself to be perfect, and you point to a source that's bigger than you. Number 2, you give people hope and courage to everyone watching who's fighting that same battle in the dark. Your struggle isn't just for you, it's your platform. It's the raw material God uses to turn your mess into a message that sets other people free. I'll be real with you. I used to think sharing my burnout and slow growth would make people respect me less. I thought, if I tell them I only uploaded 2 or 3 videos a year, they'll think I'm a joke. But the complete opposite actually happened. The moment I started being honest about that season and how God was rebuilding me from the inside out, everything shifted. My wife started helping me more with the business. My brothers and my family stepped up and started cheering me on to keep going, to keep fighting. The vulnerability didn't push people away. Matter of fact, it pulled them in. So if you're waiting until you're perfect to share your story, stop. Someone needs to see you fighting now so they can believe they can win too. We don't inspire people by pretending we've never struggled. We inspire them by showing what God can do with a life that's still in the process. System number 2, finding your blind spots. You cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to see. Most of us think, we're fine, I'm good, I'm managing, I'm handling it. But the truth, The anchors holding you back are usually invisible to you. They're subtle. They hide in your blind spots. For some of you, it's physical. For others, it's emotional. And for others, it's a character issue. It might be a physical limitation. It might be a deep emotional trauma. Or it might be a character flaw like pride or hidden anger. Be honest for a second. Do any of those words on the screen hit a nerve? If so, good, because these aren't just bad luck. They're the friction God uses to sharpen you. You weren't designed for scarcity. You were designed for stewardship and impact. Don't believe me? Look at Myron Golden. Myron has lived with polio his entire life. He walks with a brace. Most people would look at that and say, that's a curse. That's so limiting. But did Myron let that stop him from stepping into his calling? Absolutely not. In fact, that physical limitation, the thing he might have hated, became his strategic advantage. Because he couldn't use his body to do heavy labor, he was forced to use his mind. He couldn't run, so he read, he studied. He mastered the art of communication and sales. Polio forced him to become one of the greatest business minds of our time. You see, he allowed God to flip the script. The setback became his setup. So here's your action step. Get quiet. Stop distracting yourself with noise. Put down the phone. Turn down the music. Step away from the scrolling and ask God. Or if you're still figuring out what you believe, that's fine. At least be brutally honest with yourself to reveal your blind spots. Ask, what am I not seeing? What am I pretending isn't there? And remember, this isn't an overnight hack. This is a process, so be patient with yourself, but be brave enough to ask the question, because the enemy you finally choose to see is the one you can finally start to defeat. System number 3, reflect and seek wise counsel. You cannot read the label when you're trapped inside the jar. You need an outside perspective. Here's your assignment. I want you to grab a pen and paper. Do not do this in your head. Do it on paper, please. Write down the 3 obstacles that keep showing up in your life. Hey, I just want to take a quick second to thank you for watching. All of you who watch, it really encourages me to keep making videos and to keep encouraging, keep studying, and keep bringing you as much value as I possibly can. If you're watching this and you haven't already subscribed, please do. It helps my channel, but also I believe that as I continue to grow and this channel continues to grow, you're gonna grow with it. Love you guys. Thank you again. Maybe it's the same exact fight you've had 50 times with your spouse. Maybe it's the constant pull of lust in a world that is literally engineered to keep you addicted. Maybe it's a financial cycle you can't seem to break, or a struggle with pride, vanity, or comparison that keeps poisoning your joy. Whatever your 3 are, write them down in brutal detail, because when you get them out of your head and onto that page, I believe something shifts. You stop fighting ghosts and start seeing patterns. But recognizing the pattern is only one step. Step 2 is finding the breaker. You need wise counsel. You need people who are further down the road than you to look at your life and say, turn left here, slow down there. That thing you're ignoring, deal with that now. Sometimes people will come into your life just to hold up a mirror. And even if the interaction feels negative or critical at first, ask yourself, is there any truth in this? Is there something here I need to hear? Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. Samuel, I don't have any mentors. I'm alone. No, you're not. You have the greatest library in human history right here on your phone. YouTube is an unlimited supply of wisdom, and free teachers, thinkers for literally any battle you're facing. Relationship, money, discipline, healing. It's all over, it's all here. So pick your mentors on purpose. Listen to them. Take notes. Let their words challenge you. Let them sting your ego a little bit, because that sting is usually the sound of your pride dying in your growth beginning. You have the authority to change your circumstances, but wise counsel, that's your accelerator. You can walk this road alone if you want, or you can let people who've already climbed the mountain show you where the landmines are. System number 4, the art of strategic surrender. Once you identify your struggles and you get wise counsel, you have to do the hardest thing in the world. You have to let go. Right now, you're obsessing over why. Why is this happening to me? Why can't I forgive? Why is my bank account still empty when I'm working this hard? And I completely understand how you may feel in that way. It's like brutal. But stop asking why, because that's a victim question. Instead, look at what you're holding on to. We have this lie in our head that says, if I let go of my anger, if I let go of my control, if I let go of my worry, I'll lose everything. But the truth, letting go is not losing. It is an upgrade. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield. He's clutching a rusted, chipped sword. It's dull, it's heavy, but he refuses to drop it because it's the only weapon he's ever known. Standing right in front of him is his commander, holding a forged weapon, the ultimate upgrade. But the commander cannot give him the new weapon until he drops the old one. His hands are too full of good enough to grab onto greatness. That is you. That is me. You're holding onto your struggle, your bitterness, your need for control, not realizing that God is waiting to hand you a victory you could never build by yourself. There's an ancient principle in Romans 8. All things work together for good. This isn't cliche. That is the law of alchemy. It means God doesn't waste pain. He orchestrates the chaos. He takes your failures, your trauma, your confusion, and he synthesizes them into character. So stop obsessing over why, drop the rusted sword, and trust that when you let go, you're not falling into the void, you're falling into the plan. System number 5, stop fighting the struggle in your own strength and start leaning into God's grace. Here's where most of us get stuck. We treat our struggle like an enemy, and we try to defeat it with more willpower, more hustle, more self-discipline. But the harder we fight in our own strength, the more exhausted we feel. It turns into a defeating, never-ending cycle. Paul in the Bible tried that too, but check this out. He begged God 3 times to remove his thorn, and God's answer wasn't yes. It was better. My grace is all you need. My power works best in your weakness. And then Paul responded with, now I'm glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. For when I am weak, then I am strong. The moment I stopped fighting my imposter syndrome and my burnout, which took a minute, I started saying, God, I can't do this without you. I need your grace today. Everything changed. Ideas started flowing again. My energy came back. Videos are being made, not because I suddenly became superhuman, but because his power showed up in my weakness. When I finally yielded, just like with Myron, what looks like a setback is actually part of a bigger purpose, being orchestrated over my life. And the same is true for you. It's easy to give in to the distractions. It's easy to want to tap out and quit. But those are the exact moments where you cannot lean on your own strength. Here's a practical step. Every time the struggle flares up, Every time the shame hits, the anxiety spikes, or the temptation shows its head, recognize it, pause, and pray this out loud. God, I'm weak here, but your grace is enough. Show your strength through me right now. Do this daily, not just when it's convenient, but daily. And watch how the same struggle that used to drain you starts fueling a version of you that you barely recognize in the best way possible. My wish for you is that you step fully into the purpose of your struggle, that you stop surviving and start thriving through it. That, my friend, is when you become truly unstoppable. Now, I want to hear from you what's something you've overcome or you're in the middle of overcoming that you believe God is using for a bigger purpose. Drop it in the comments, or if it's too personal, message me privately on Instagram at I am Samuel Smiley. Be bold enough to share this with somebody who needs to know their struggle is not wasted. Blessings, guys. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.